We go to our next presenter, Carlos Sandrea, who's the founder and CEO of Lunabeam Labs. Welcome.
Thank you,
Carlos.
Yuli.
The stage is yours.
So the right or the left, or they all from the front? I don't want to go
Down
to
arrow.
the end.
There
Just
you
don't
go.
go to the end of the
I
presentation.
know exactly. So thank you very much, everybody, for attending this call. Thank you, Yuli, for inviting me to this event. Really excited about providing you with a story of what Lunabeam is, how it started, and the journey we have had so far. So for today, I'm going to cover three basic things. Not basic, but three things that people say that when you group things in three, it makes more sense, and I do agree with that. First of all, what happens when somebody, a neurodivergent student, an individual, graduates from high school? And for those that actually have elected to go towards a college degree, they walk away. White science tells us that what works and what doesn't work in the system today. And what are we doing? What are we building within Lunabeam to be able to cope with those challenges? So to start with, I wanted to tell you the story of how do I came about Lunabeam and my personal side of things. So I was let go, as many people in 2023. It's not an uncommon story in the Bay Area. And for many, many years, I felt that I was working on things that really were meaningless to me, that really didn't have an impact. I felt like it was the time for me to build something on my own. It was the time for me to do something that did relate to my community, the autistic neurodivergent community, and something that really make a difference. So I did. I look internally, look inside my house, and saw my teenager. She's 16 years old, and in 2 years, I know she's going to be graduating from high school. And I know for a fact that when she graduates from high school, things are going to change dramatically. As many of you know, the differences between the law that governs individuals and their support before 18 and after 18. So things are done in some way by design. All that support system, the circles, the therapists, the coaches, everything will go away and will move in a system that will be self-directed. So she will be pretty much be on her own with some rights, but things that she is not probably prepared for. So I basically tried to look for things that I could do within that scope. And I found the experience basically very similar across many families, many people that I interviewed. And what I did is to say, you know what, let me put my product manager hat and put my skills to good use and find really good washer, really good opportunity we could pursue. And with a little bit of help from AI, I built what Lunabeam is today. So just to give you a little bit more sense of what that transition looks like. So on the left side, you see the system that supports our kiddos since pretty much they were in kindergarten. The teacher that knows her better, that IEP that everybody relies on, everybody fights year on a year basis, but also the schedule that somebody has built for them. All that changes when they graduate from high school. Not all of those things go away, but they enter into a system where the ADA, the different law applies, where you are going to be self-directed, as I mentioned before. The system assumes that the individual has the capacity, has the skill set to be self-directed, to understand that they need an accommodation, to understand where to get that accommodation, to understand how to find how to use, and eventually how to make better use of that accommodation. So in a nutshell, they assume that the individual has the self-advocacy and the independent skills to be able to move forward. And as you know, many kids, many individuals with neurodivergent diagnostic are not really prepared for that. So the reality that some of those individuals face is very dramatic. This is data from the Center for Educational Statistics that talks about the graduation rates for students in large, for college individuals. The graduation rate sits around 64%. That's overall. For individuals with disabilities, 34%. It's 34% graduation rate. That's a 30+ percentage point gap, which is very dramatic and hasn't moved much in decades. Irrespective of additional funding and accommodations, irrespective on investments in mental health, irrespective on what they call success metrics or success programs within college and universities. So it's basically a fundamental, a structural problem that hasn't been addressed and is nobody's really addressing effectively. So research talks about multiple things that are wrong in the system, and the plethora of platforms that support individuals and academics actually, they fundamentally lack three basic things that will lead to the group. Number one, science tells us that the support individuals need has to come at the moment of need. No days before, no days after, not on a weekly schedule, at the moment, in the moment of need. So research from students in Cornell University issue a paper this year, and they call it essentially the ability to provide that support is the ability to provide the support essentially with check-ins, predefined check-ins on that moment of need. And that essentially, to translate it in layman terms, means having support groups, having community validation. All those different things are not really secondary support systems, are fundamental tenets of engagement that enables those individuals to move forward. And research on the autism community supports that paper, supports that theory. Research on individuals that have received or incorporate peer support programs essentially see a very high correlation with incremental academic performance and mental well-being. So, in other words, providing the right support with the right set of individuals supporting the student's life is nothing secondary, it's fundamental on the well-being and the progress that individuals need to have within the college environment. And the last point that I would like to make is data from the Government Accountability Office that found out, this is data from 2024, that disability offices sometimes tend to implement solutions after the fact. What do I mean by that? When the student already has failed a particular test, or perhaps has a dismissal or something like that. And I don't want to say that it's because of the people that are behind those offices. I mean, heads off, and I all have the respect for people that are supporting the community in any way or fashion. It has to do with the systems they rely on. It has to do with the fact the systems they rely on are built for compliance. What's the accommodation requested? What's the accommodation delivered? Well, there's not engagement signal. There's nothing that tells those groups, those individuals, those coordinators that the accommodation actually worked, that the accommodation was actually used and it served its purpose. So that's essentially the types of things that I saw as opportunities to provide solutions. And those are the types of opportunities that I'm trying to provide solutions with the Lunabeam Lab. So in a sense, the way we designed the system with the help of a cross-disciplinary team is comprised of different layers. The first layer is what I call the student layer, and it's comprised of an artificial intelligence co-pilot that is guiding the student, is guiding the coach on providing the plan, the structure, on ideating on solutions, on projects perhaps the individual wants to engage on. It's that mechanism that enables the individual to receive that support, and they're starting to act, but they feel stuck. It's a system that calibrates those responses according to what the individual needs at any given point in time, based on their emotional sense or based on the skill sets that they have at any given point in time. I talk about the support circle, the network of people that supports the student life. That's what I call that second layer that sits around the AI. That second layer that is perhaps perhaps comprised of many individuals. Could be the teachers, could be the coaches, could be the parents, could be the peers, could be the students themselves that are working alongside the individual. Those individuals can have visibility into the progress. Those individuals can have a mechanisms to continue motivating that individual when something goes right, have visibility onto perhaps regressions, but more importantly, are able to celebrate a win when it comes across. And for coordinators, the last layer is the academic institutional one that provide that engagement signal that the accommodation was used. And these are not accommodation records. These are essentially executive function trends, patterns, and disengagement signals that alert the coordinators when something is going wrong, when the accommodation is not really working, or the individual has lost interest on the particular project or goal for any given reason. One of the things that I would like to illustrate is how this looks like in real life. And there are two things that I would like to you to pay attention to. One is the moment, what I call the moment. So here, for example, is the Natalia, my daughter. She is scheduling an activity for Saturday morning. Yeah, could be work on her essay or work on a hobby that she likes to pursue. A moment where that coordinator, that coach may not be available, but that's where the moment is. That's where Luna can interject. Secondly is the notion of that village, that community, right? So the moment they see the first step, the win, that community gets activated. That's when they can find that motivation. They can send, hey, good job, or you rock, you did it. Again, it's more motivation to pursue not only one additional step for the end of the project, end of the goal. And one of the things that one of the principles that we use to design this tool is the principle for building to discipline. What does that mean, really? You're very used to the notion that AI applications or productivity applications in general are built to enforce or build engagement. The more you use it, the more engaged you are, the more long life that application will live in your lifetime and the lifetime of the company that supports that. We flip the scenario here. This is not what I want to do, because fundamentally, our success metric, if there is one, is that the individual can graduate without the use of Luna. Yeah. So this chart essentially tells you how does it look like from day 0 to day 180 or at the end of the program. The support is calibrated and in teaching the individual that I'm going to help you this time around. For the next time, it's on you. Yeah. So if there are three things, now you know me, I like the number 3. If there are 3 things I want you to take home with you are the following. Doesn't matter which tool you implement, which tool you buy, which tool you use. There are lots of good productivity apps out there. What's important really is that support, that nudge happens at the moment of need, happens at the moment when the individual wants to act and is stopped or is trying to act, it cannot do it. Number 2 is that as good as productivity apps are there, those calendar, task management, and whatnot, those cannot be replacing that fundamental network of individuals that support you as an individual. This social component cannot be replicated. And number 3, if you're working within a disability office, if you're trying to act, you're trying to avoid failure, you need to have the engagement signal that helps you engage with the individual in the first place. Yeah. So who is the team behind Lunabeam? We are a very small but very focused team. It's basically been me so far developing the application and the business, and a set of advisors across multiple disciplines that are advising me and helping me get on track so I don't get distracted with things that don't really matter and have the science behind this particular tool. Again, we're small and focused, and we're dedicated to serve this community, which is our community. And with that, thank you so much for your time and attention. If any of this resonated with you, let's talk. If you, for example, you work in the supporting individuals, neurodivergent individuals in post-secondary environments, and would like to try have a pilot with Lunabeam, let's talk. If you're a researcher and you're developing research on the outcomes of neurodivergent individuals, for example, let's talk. If you are a technical person and feel this is something that resonates with you from the mission perspective, we're looking for a co-founder that is on the technical side. Let's talk too. And if you're an investor and you feel that resonates with you with the mission and the funds you like to put on companies like us, let's talk. So that's the talk for me today. If you have any questions, bring it on. Yeah.
So what is the medium of this product? Is it an app? Is it a voice only app?
It's both.
Is it on a device?
Yeah, it sits on the device. It can sit on an app. It's a web-based application for now. We're developing also a native application for the sake of exploring a more scalable way of bringing this to colleges. We are web-based. Could be something that you can use with your voice or with the text on your phone or a tablet or a browser. Again, it's web-based. It's not natively on any particular platform.
Given that the focus is really on secondary education, have you thought about or are you piloting integrations with like the university and colleges' systems like Canva, I think, or Canva is one of those, I forget what the name is. Have you done any integration there to actually enhance the intelligence and the experience of the individual?
No, not yet. Again, this is a system that can sit alongside infrastructure name of the company that develops Canva, that sits alongside those type of accommodation systems. But bear in mind that where Canva starts or where Canva ends, we start. At some point in time, if our pilots become successful and we're able to license to more colleges and universities, there might be an integration. But no, right now the pilots that we have planned for is our platform developing the programs independently to what exists today within the university. Good question. Yeah.
How does the system know that the child needs a help? So is it like for example, in the example that you gave, you had provided that you need to write an essay, right? How does it know that somebody is looking at it? So are the tasks already written? What needs to be done for a day or something like that? Or?
Yeah, could be many input mechanisms, right? Could be as I mentioned in the example, you have already scheduled time for that specific activity. Over time, the algorithms are actually knowing your schedule, knowing the times that work for you, and based on the steps that you have on the plans that you have created, know when to interject, know when to give you that nudge, or when to ask a question that can help you move forward. Yeah. Any other question?
I'm just really curious about seeing the product. Is there a demo that I could see somewhere on your website?
We can talk after this. I don't want to use more time than I'm allowed to, but definitely we can have a session that can show you, a typical use case on how the system works and how we create projects and how the system basically gives you those nudges that are related.
Very cool. Yeah, I will definitely come over to you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
There's a question in the chat. How do we recommend someone to your team? How should we connect them with you?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I have. I think it's at the beginning. No, it's not there. But anyways,
so your email is good. Email is good.
Yeah, I can. My email is carlos@lunabeamlabs.com. But if you reach out to Uli's team, probably we can have you connected with me and we can follow up. Make sense?
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.